Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari. Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari. Asuranandana Brajajana Ranjano. Jasoranandana Brajajana Ranjano. Jamunatira Vanachari. Jamunatira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari. Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari. Jasuranandana Brajajana Ranjano. Jasuranandana Brajajana Ranjano. Jasuranandana Brajajana Ranjano. Jamunatira Vanachari. Jamunatira Vanachari. Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Sri Sri Radha Madhava ki, Sri Sri Radha Giridhari ki. Jayo Mishnupad Paramahamsa Puri Vrajakachaja Shodara Sri Srimad His Divine Grace of Vaicharana Vinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Gantara Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Samaveda Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai Go Premanandi, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories, Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishnaya Buddhadeshwade Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Paracharini Nye Vishesha Shunyavadi Bhashyadhyadi Shatarane. So our reading today from the Srimad Bhagavatam, we'll read a few texts starting with 33, which is on the board. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskricham Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devyam Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jamadiri Achila Pupari Ki Jai. So, Kovainam Parichakshita Venam Ekam Rite Shubham Prapta Idrisham Aishvaryam Yad Anugraha Bhajanaha. Kovainam Parichakshita Venam Ekam Rite Shubham Prapta Idrisham Aishvaryam Yad Anugraha Bhajanaha. Kovainam Parichakshita Venam Ekam Rite Shubham Prapta Idrisham Aishvaryam Yad Anugraha Bhajanaha. Would you like to chant? Kovainam Parichakshita Venam Ekam Rite Shubham Prapta Idrisham Aishvaryam Yad Anugraha Bhajanaha. Kovainam Parichakshita Venam Ekam Rite Shubham Prapta Idrisham Aishvaryam Yad Anugraha Bhajanaha. Kovainam Parichakshita Venam Ekam Ritam Shubham Prapta Idrisham Aishvaryam Yad Anugraha Bhajanaha. Kovainam Parichakshita Venam Ekam Ritam Shubham Prapta Idrisham Aishvaryam Yad Anugraha Bhajanaha. Kovainam Parichakshita Sound a little odd. Kovainam Parichakshita Venam Ekam Ritam Shubham Prapta Idrisham Aishvaryam Yad Anugraha Bhajanaha. Synonyms: Ka, who, Va, indeed, Enam, the Lord, Parichakshita, would blaspheme, Benam, King Vena, Ekam, alone, Rite, but for, Ashubham, inauspicious, Praptaha, having obtained, Idrisham, like this, Aishwaram, opulence, yet, whose, Anugraha, mercy, Bhajanaha, receiving. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. But for King Vena, who is simply inauspicious, who would blaspheme the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by whose mercy one is awarded all kinds of fortune and opulence. Please repeat. But for King Vena, who is simply inauspicious, who would blaspheme the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by whose mercy one is awarded all kinds of fortune and opulence. Purport. When human society individually or collectively becomes godless and blasphemes the authority of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, It is certainly destined for ruination. Such a civilization invites all kinds of bad fortune due to not appreciating the mercy of the Lord. So read a little bit more here. Just increase the size of this. Text 34, translation. The great sages, thus manifesting their covert anger, immediately decided to kill the king. King Vena was already as good as dead due to his blasphemy against the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thus, without using any weapons, the sages killed King Vena simply by high-sounding words. Oops. Don't say it too loud. Text 35, right? After all the sages returned to their respective hermitages, the mother of King Vena, Sunita, became very much aggrieved because of her son's death. Mothers love you no matter what. That's proof of it right here. Right? Somehow or other, mothers love you no matter what. She decided to preserve the dead body of her son by the application of certain ingredients and by chanting mantras, mantra yogena. And text 36. Once upon a time, the same saintly persons, after taking their bath in the river Saraswati, began to perform their daily duties by offering oblations into the sacrificial fires. After this, sitting on the bank of the river, they began to talk about the transcendental person and his pastimes. Text 37. In those days, there were various disturbances in the country that were creating a panic in society. Therefore, all the sages began to talk amongst themselves. Since the king is dead and there is no protector in the world, misfortune may befall the people in general on account of rogues and thieves. Purport. Whenever there is a disturbance in the state or a panic situation, the property and lives of the citizens become unsafe. This is caused by the uprising of various thieves and rogues. At such a time, it is to be understood that the ruler or the government is dead. All of these misfortunes happened due to the death of King Vena. Thus, the saintly persons became very anxious for the safety of the people in general. The conclusion is that even though saintly persons have no business in political affairs, they are always compassionate upon the people in general. Thus, even though they are always aloof from society, out of mercy and compassion, they consider how the citizens can peacefully execute their rituals and follow the rules and regulations of Varnashram Dharma. That was the concern of these sages. In this age of Kali, everything is disturbed. Therefore, saintly persons should take to the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra as recommended in the Shastras, Harinama, Harinama, Harinama eva kevalam, kalo nastyeva, nastyeva, nastyeva gatiranyata. Both for spiritual and material prosperity, everyone should devoutly chant the Hare Krishna mantra. Om Agyantimirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chaksul Unminitam Ninatai Sri Gurve Namaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaitin Gadadhara Shiva Sri Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Banchika Badaru Bhashta Kripa Sindhu Mevacha Patidanam Bhavani Bhyo Vaishnavi Bhyo Namo Namaha. So I'm looking forward to your blessings and good wishes, so I can say something. Okay. I'll try my best. So this first verse, it's interesting because they're saying here, but for King Vena, who is simply inauspicious, who would blaspheme the Supreme Personality of Godhead? So things have changed. It's just the opposite. Who wouldn't? Right? Except for, a few people who wouldn't blaspheme the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So if there's any doubt in your minds, we are in Kali Yuga, Prabhus. This is Kali Yuga. This is a time where God is not popular. Like that. He's not popular. And even to say someone doesn't exist, that's blasphemy. Doesn't exist. Or it's irrelevant. when someone actually is the most relevant person, you say they're irrelevant. So this is blasphemy. And the preceding verses that were given, he went on a rant about how he was God and all the demigods and everything reside within his body, and all the Brahmins should just worship him. And he even called them like they're looking for a paramour or something, right? Some verses there. So he was very offensive not only to the Supreme Lord, but to the Lord's devotees. That usually goes together, right? Someone's offensive to the Lord and his devotees. In the minds of a pious person, they can't understand why people are so blasphemous, just like it says here. Why blaspheme the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by whose mercy one is awarded all kinds of fortune and opulence? The king should be thinking like that every day, that it's by the grace of God that I have this position. Where did all of this opulence and power and position and Aishwarya come from? It's by the grace of God. And by the grace of God, it is taken away. Just like Srila Prabhupada in his youth, his father would say something to him. He would tell him that Krishna's Krishna has 10 hands, right? And if he wants to, he can give you. Oh, he said he can take everything away with 10 hands. Now, what will your 2 hands do, right? Just like you may be able, you and Balaam could have, fight it out in the back over a glubjaman or something like that. You both have 2 hands, but let's say Balaam manifested his 4-handed form, then there's no way you can hold on to that glubjaman. He'll hold it like that, right? So 10 hands, if Krishna wants to take, what can you do? But he said also, if Krishna wants to give you something, he has 10 hands, your 2 hands can't hold it. So Krishna's giving everything and he's taking everything away. And the unfortunate situation is that when one has a position of power and opulence, the tendency is to forget that. We reside here in New Govardhan, and that's the Govardhan Leela. That's why Krishna performed the pastime to teach Indra a lesson. In fact, he even told Indra, I did this whole thing just to help you out. You're my nice devotee, and you forgot for some time my position and your position. So I arranged this whole pastime to help you with your problem of forgetting me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So what to do, because it wasn't just a small thing, it was completely out of hand. In fact, the verse we're reading today, so with their anger they cursed him with some high words, and his mom preserved his body. Preserved his body. Now, of course, that's inspiration within the heart from Supersoul, because something was to be done with that body, but we don't know of her. She was just thinking to preserve the body of my son. Sometimes they do that. A very important person or something, they embalm them. Just like, is Lenin still there? In that glass case? Probably, right? People go still to Red Square. Right? You can look that up on your app, your thing. Lenin. Is he still there? Is Lenin still there in that glass case? Yeah, he's probably still there. He died a long time ago, but they want to preserve the body. Pretty grotesque if you think about it. So, and then the verses today are talking about the fact the sages are sitting there and they're noticing, we got rid of the king, but now we've got a big problem. There's no one in charge. And when there's no one in charge, Prabhupada says here, various disturbances in the country and creating a panic in society. And Prabhupada says in the purport, when there is a situation like that, what does it mean? If the citizens feel unsafe, if their physical body, their livelihood, their possessions, it's an unsafe situation, it means that the government is dead. There is no government. There are places like that all over the world today. There's just no government. And the countries are actually run by rogues and rascals and thieves and bandits, hordes of bandits and groups of, like that, right? Gangs, I guess they call them now, and so on. It's like Mahabharata told me that, you probably heard this before, in El Salvador, that no one stops at a red light, especially in previous days, but even to this day, in El Salvador. The reason you don't stop is you stop, someone's going to jump out and take your car. It's so bad. You imagine it on Grand Avenue? You come to a light, you don't stop because someone will probably jump out of the car at gunpoint and take your car from you. That's how bad it is. That's how bad it is. And it was very bad when he came up here. That's why he came up here. Asylum. But even to this day, there are some places still in that country where it's so bad that, and then of course you have this whole thing with people coming up, immigrants coming for asylum and so on, because their countries are so unsafe. There's no government. There's no government. There's no government. It's a panic. All these countries like that. It's horrible. When the citizens feel completely unprotected. So it means more or less there is no government. The government's dead. So they're seeing this kind of a situation. Or just even in this country, right? When the lights go out. All of a sudden, there's the big riots and things like that, all looting and stores and like that. It just goes crazy. Right? Hurricanes hit. They had a whole thing happen in New Orleans when Katrina hit, and they even have films of police officers stealing stuff. That was quite an embarrassment to the police department there. All kinds of police officers were also seen looting during the aftermath of Katrina. So here's the government, the people are supposed to be protecting everyone. They're loading up their squad, what do you call them, squad cars? What do you call them? Cars with TVs, you name it. Just there's the police doing it, So very bad situation for people. It means the government is dead. So devotees feel very, very compassionate. This is the main point of the verse today. They're very, very compassionate for the conditioned souls. They're very, very compassionate. They feel for this. Now, near the end of the purport here, it's very important, though, the devotee's compassion is that, I wish everyone had a nice arrangement for sense gratification. I wish everything was running nicely and people were peaceful, just so they can enjoy life in the material world. That's not the motivation of the devotee's compassion. It says here, so the citizens can peacefully execute their rituals and follow the rules and regulations of Varnashram Dharma. That's the real purpose of peace in human society. Things are very, very peaceful, so you can execute your spiritual duties and go back home, back to Godhead. Not that things are very, very peaceful, so you just have a great time here in the material world. That's not our concern, and that's why devotees generally aren't involved in any kind of politics and things like that. Because that is generally that is more or less 99.9%, if not more, what all the politicians are promising, right? We're going into the election years, right? And they're all promising we have a solution for all your problems, right? They have these debates and say, what are you going to do about immigration? What are you going to do about the fact that the middle class has no more money? What are you going to do about college debt, loan debt? And what are you going to do about this? What are you going to do about the wars? In other words, what are you going to do about our sense gratification? That's what they want to know. I'm going to vote for you if you can guarantee me more than any of these other knuckleheads, what I can get for my sense gratification. That's it. Right? If you say, well, I can guarantee you that I can engage you in the Lord's devotional service so you go back home, back to Godhead, that's the last debate you're going to be in. I'm going to take you right off the stage. All your whatever points you had are going to be lost. No one wants to hear that. No one wants to hear it. No one thinks it's of any value whatsoever, pretty much. I say no one, but there are people, more or less it's sense gratification, either pious or impious. So, the devotees are very concerned that people are peaceful so they can execute their Krishna consciousness. And Prabhupada's saying here at the very end, the conclusion of the purport is that in the age of Kali, everything is disturbed. So what's that verse about Kali Yuga being an ocean of faults? Rajan, right there. Nidhi means ocean, right? Nidhi. Ocean, dosha. That's not South Indian breakfast. It's dosha. Like that. And faults, problems, disturbances. There's an ocean. Just think you go down there, go swimming, you go down here. There's an ocean. It's just so vast. You can't even count it. Can't even count it. So what to do in a situation like that? Just as Advaita Acharya, why did he pray for the descent of the Lord? Because he could see that Kali Yuga was such an ocean of problems. Only the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself can solve the situation. Remember those plays, Sankirtan Man? Remember those plays? And there used to be these plays called Sankirtan Man, where a devotee would be out preaching or something like that and get in a difficult situation with a Mayavadi or this or that. And if he couldn't figure out what to do, so he'd call for Sankirtan man. Then this devotee would jump onto the stage with a little cape, they'd get a Sankirtan man, and Sankirtan man would quote all these verses and defeat whoever he was talking to and save the day and give him a book and then leave. Sankirtan man. I remember seeing it once or twice in Vrindavan. The British devotees were putting those on. The Sankirtan man plays. So, in other words, what to do in that situation, only Krishna himself, only Sankirtan man can solve the situation. We can't do it ourselves. There has to be some divine intervention. Vedanta Maharaj gives the example that in Greek plays, I forget what the name of it is, in Greek plays there would always be a situation where the hero there was a situation where there's no way out. And maybe he's got a few guards at him with spears at his neck, or something like that, or someone with a knife to his. What to do? And you look at it and say, there's no way he's going to get out of this. No way he's going to get out of this. It's impossible. And what would happen is they would lower from up above a box with one of the devatas in it or something like that, and that would save the day. Right? Just something out of left field would come and save the day, because on our own power we couldn't do anything about it. So in the same way, in this age of Kali, what are we going to do? It's an ocean, just like you have these tsunamis. What are you going to do if a tsunami comes? Well, yeah, but you can't stop it. The point is, there's no stopping it. You go to gate session, get out of here or something. But the point is, you can't stop a tsunami. You just can't stop it. You just can't stop it. So Kali Yuga is like a tsunami. But Krishna can stop it in one moment. The effects, what's it supposed to say, the pernicious effects, of Kali Yuga, in one moment can be stopped by the chanting of the Lord's holy names. So therefore, saintly persons should take to the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra as recommended in the Shastras. That really there's no relief in the age of Kali. There's no political plan, there's no economic plan, there's no social plan, there's no welfare plan, there's nothing that can deal with the great ocean of faults in the age of Kali, can solve the problem. It really isn't. Because the whole atmosphere is so surcharged with lust, anger, and greed. That's a verse I was thinking about here. This, what is this? Tribidham narakasya dham. There's 3 gates leading to hell, Krishna says. Lust, anger, and greed. Kam, Krodh, and Lobha. And everyone's mind is so absorbed in these things. And the whole population is like that. How can there be a solution unless people's hearts are purified? That's the point. Why the chanting Hare Krishna? We chant Hare Krishna because all of a sudden someone's going to come out of the sky. No, everyone's heart becomes cleansed. Every solution starts at home. No, they say charity starts at home. Every solution starts with every individual. Society is made up of individuals, so if everyone has a purified heart, then where are the problems? Right? Where are the problems? Unless people's hearts are purified, Prabhupada said, and it's a fact, just legislation alone can't stop. Right? Just making a rule won't stop it, because people in their hearts have all of these desires. That's just like in the Vedic culture, kings. But the nature, they're very, very powerful, very, very passionate people. And they'll always want to marry or have a relationship with more than one woman. Right? They like gambling. They like the excitement of gambling and so on. And hunting. Right? So these things are actually, and it says that there's no code in the Vedas that Kshatriyas shouldn't do these things. Or don't do these things. Because if you say don't do it, they're going to do it anyways. Right? They're going to do it anyways. That's their nature. But the scriptures say it's not a good idea. And there's so many stories there about kings who got in a lot of difficulty because they married more than one woman, because they gambled, and because they were addicted to hunting. So many different stories there. Even in the Bhagavatam, there's a few. The point is, just legislating, it won't help. But if someone has a purified heart, automatically they're just not attracted to these things. They're not attracted to these things. So that's why the chanting of Krishna's glories, the Hare Krishna mantra, all the glories of the Lord, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam is meant to bring about a revolution in the impious lives of the world's population. Because this it's Punya Kirtana, just by hearing about the Lord, One's heart is purified, like that. One's heart becomes Cheto Darpana Marjanam. And in that situation, these difficulties gradually start going away. Because who creates the difficulties? People, right? Did you ever get picked on when you were? Never in your life. So you must have picked on people. So if you didn't pick on people, you must have picked on people. You lived a place where no one picked on you and you didn't pick on anyone. Okay, so people picked on you. If you had to defend yourself, right. So I mean, just like wherever we go, there's always someone who wants to exploit us in some way or other. Or we have a propensity to exploit others in some way or other. That's just there. But when the heart becomes purified, all that goes away. All that goes away. So much so, if in such yuga people have such pure hearts, they actually don't even require a government. They don't even require a government. They don't. Because everyone is so pure in heart, no one has to tell you what to do. Can you imagine having that? How easy your job would be in the Brahmacharya ashram? If everyone was so pure, you didn't even have to tell them what to do. They just automatically did everything right. And that's Satya Yuga Prabhu. That was 3 yugas ago. So, but that's what we're trying to achieve, individually and collectively, and that's why that's our medicine for the age of Kali. That's our message. That's our message. People say, no. We can solve it all through economics. We can solve it through politics. We can solve it through different social programs and different ideas. But no, because what are we going to come up with? Right? What are we going to come up with? Nothing, because we're right in the middle of the whole thing. We don't have any idea. We don't have any idea how to get out. Right? No idea how to get out. So, these are some of the points being made here. So, and also the fact that devotees are very, very compassionate. Right? They feel for the suffering of the conditioned souls. They don't want to see anyone suffering, but they're not sentimental about it. They know what the solution is. They know what the solution is. And therefore they preach Krishna consciousness. They're not going to mislead people that, oh, you have a difficult situation. If only you had more money, if only you had plastic surgery, if only you had this or that, you'd be very, very happy. They're not going to mislead people. Right? Everyone is the thing about Suridam Sarvabhutanam, that Krishna is everyone's friend. So we try to imitate that. People say, oh, no, you have some problems, I can help you. I can help you with financial advice or plastic surgery or relationship counseling or this or that or all these different things, but you really can't help. It's all part of the same illusion. I give that example about there's one entry in the books by Maxwell Maltz. It's called Cybernetics, something Cybernetics. He was a psychiatrist, a psychologist. He was also a plastic surgeon. And he makes one account in the book there that he had some woman come in who was actually quite attractive. But she wanted to change her face a little bit to look like some movie star. This is back in the 50s or 60s or something like that. And he said, you don't need to. But he said, no, I just don't feel right. I just not happy unless I look like this particular movie star. So I said, okay, we can do that. So he did the plastic surgery, very painful. And then, after, weeks or months, they took all, the bandages and everything healed. And that woman looked pretty much like that movie star. And he held a mirror in front of her, and she looked at it, and he goes, how do you feel now? Well, I'm still not happy. I'm still not happy. And he could understand from that happiness actually is inside. Doesn't matter what a person, what an endeavor. And still the woman was completely unhappy, still feeling depressed, even though he changed her face to look like this movie star. So the point being that the real happiness comes within. It's one's Krishna consciousness. We have to be convinced of that there's nothing in this material world, there's no adjustment that can actually make us happy individually or collectively unless we have a pure heart. So that's the message today from the pulpit. Okay? Any questions or comments? Any further discussion? Yes, Prabhu.
I was meditating on the song Gopinath today by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And in that song, he says that, that the noose of fruitive activities is tightening. And in the end of the song, he says, I am bound by the noose of material illusion. And then he begs to Krishna to come please cut that noose. So I was just thinking, that's our position in the material world, is that we're on the gallows of the material energy. And it's just like, I was kind of thinking about like the slave trade at the time of the slaves. Slaves would like stand on like a gallows as they're being auctioned off. And so I was thinking that, it's kind of our position right now. We're in the hands of Maya, but Krishna can purchase us with his mercy. And so your class kind of brought that point back up in my mind, this idea that, our only opportunity to get free from this network of material illusion is through the chanting of the holy name. There's no other way out of it. And then that song, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, I've tried all my efforts, and now I give up. I have to take shelter of you. I see no other way.
Very good point. Yes, Dravida Prabhu.
I searched for Lenin's tomb. It's still there. Since 1924, 95 years later, they're still filing through and looking at Lenin. It used to be Lenin's and Stalin's tomb, but Stalin kind of went out of favor, so they took him out of there. But there's Lenin. There's a preservative.
Embalmed.
Yeah, embalmed body. They've got it down really good, so I guess he still looks presentable.
Oh, so you actually see
You see the form, the body, and it's not decayed. Yeah.
And not
What is that? What do you say?
so like Ramanujacharya, he maintained his.
Oh yeah.
It's a little bit different, I think.
Was it Ramana? I think it was Yamuna. With the three fingers?
Ramanujacharya.
Oh, it was Ramanuja with the three fingers?
Yeah.
But it's interesting here that, I mean, this wife, Sunita, is the one who's so aggrieved she decided to preserve the dead body by mantras. Same idea. And then the next verse is, which we'll read tomorrow, I guess. Did you read the next verse about once upon a time? I don't think you did.
Yeah, we're already
Oh,
down.
you did.
We're
Okay.
going to tomorrow's
But that
verse
means
is
that-
38.
In other words, they didn't know what to do right away. So if she hadn't been so attached, what would have happened? No preacher, no nothing.
Yeah.
Because they did a whole mantra thing with his churning his arm.
Super soul in the heart.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all Krishna's arrangement, because I'm sure the Brahmins knew there had to be a Kshatriya. Someone has to be in charge. Yeah. So I don't know how much time actually elapsed and so on, but they were aware of these things. But this is all part of the Lord's arrangement. Is it Treta, Satya? I think maybe Satya Yuga. We can go back it up some, but it wasn't needed in this sense, but there's. I'm just saying. Yeah. Brahmins just don't need. If everyone's Brahminical, there's not really much as needed, like that. Don't give Kevin any ideas. Thinks we should kill everyone. Just kill them all. Right? That's one of his mantras. Kali Yuga's got me down, and why don't we just kill everyone? So that's his preaching program. Parashuram Sankirtan. Hand all the Sankirtan devotees a big chopper. Parusha. Just go out there and just do your Sankirtan. He's joking, but so we can end here. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.